Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Papa Boris, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to play Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which is a new mode that's recently been added to Hearthstone. Now, before I begin, 3 very short disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1. Apparently, this is something called an early battler, or auto chess, or whatever. I don't know anything about those games, never played them, so I'm not going to be making any comparisons to the genre. I'm going to be explaining this game simply on its own merits. Disclaimer number 2, this is early access, so a lot of the mechanics and numbers may change. And finally, disclaimer number 3, this is a very fast-paced game early on, so I'm not going to be able to explain all the mechanics up front. If you are a strategy nerd like me and you want to know all the mechanics, they will be in this video. It's just that I'm going to layer my explanation. First, I'm going to explain just some very, very basic things, and then as there's more time in subsequent rounds, I'll step forward and explain some of the nitty-gritty stuff. And as we go, I'm not going to be really particularly playing to win. If I happen to do well, great, but if not, then that doesn't matter, because the point of this video really is to just teach you the rules and explain some of the things that you can't find in the announcement page and other places, because, I don't know, if for someone like me who likes strategy board games, you just really want to know how everything works, and it's very maddening when particular details are not explained. Okay, so this is an 8-player mode. You're going to play with the same 7 other people through the entirety of the mode. It's a last man standing kind of thing, where the object is to be the last person who has a non-zero number of hit points. At the beginning of the game, you choose from one of 3 heroes, assuming you've bought at least, or not bought, sorry, acquired through any means, at least 20 packs of the latest expansion. If you have not, then you get to choose from 2 heroes. I kind of think that's BS, because although Blizzard does give away a lot of packs, you still have to spend some in-game gold each time a new expansion comes out to continue to have 3 classes to choose from. I don't know how annoyed I'm going to be at this, but anyway, we'll see. Each hero in this game, unlike in regular Hearthstone, does not have any class cards. So all the hero really means is the power. So Nefarian's power is for 1 gold. You get to do all damage to 1 damage to all your minions. This guy for 4 gold gives a minion Divine Shield, and then she just gives max +1/+1. I'm going to go ahead and grab her, not because I think she's the best or anything, but just because she's the simplest one here. In this game, since I seem to have some extra time at the beginning here, or maybe not, there are alternating phases. In the first round, you are in the tavern, where you can purchase, sell, play, and rearrange your minions. And then every odd-numbered round of the game will be another tavern round. Every even-numbered round of the game is going to be a combat round where you are randomly paired with one of the other 7 players, and your minions fight. The gimmick here is that your minions do have some predictability. They will attack from left to right. So if I arrange my minions like this, when it's my first turn to attack, the Murloc Tidehunter will attack first, but if I arrange them like this, and notice you can arrange them at will, then this little guy will attack first. But you don't get to control who they attack. They attack enemy minions at random, and they do respect taunt, so if there's 1 or more taunt minions, your minion who's attacking will attack a taunt minion at random, but if there are no taunt minions, they will attack an enemy minion at random. And the objective in each given mode is to have the last minion. So in this particular case, my opponent had the last minion, so he's going to do damage to me. I'll explain how damage is calculated later on. But suffice it to say, if you have the last minion standing, you deal damage to your opponent. If your opponent has the last minion standing, they deal damage to you. And the amount of damage I'll talk about later. If there's a tie, of course, nothing happens. So let's go back to the tavern phase. I've only got 24 seconds. So one thing you can do is you can upgrade your tavern. This is important because every card that's in this game has a certain star rating. At the beginning, your tavern is a tier 1, so you can only recruit tier 1 minions. When you upgrade your tavern to tier 2, you can now, when minions spawn, get tier 2 minions. And you can still get tier 1 minions. In fact, even when you're all the way at the maximum tier of tier 6, you can still roll tier 1 minions, but you're able to see higher tier minions. The interesting gimmick in this game is that all minions are worth 3 gold. So regardless of the quality of the minion or the stats of the minion or any tier value or any other property of the minion, all minions always cost 3 gold. So that's why upgrading your tavern is, fairly important to do at some point, because if you don't upgrade your tavern, then you can never get to the higher tier minions, so you're paying 3 gold for garbage while other people are paying 3 gold for much better stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do here is showcase another mechanic of the game, which is selling minions. I'm going to sell this Murloc Scout. That gives me a coin, which can then be used to purchase something else. I'm going to go ahead and buy another one of these amalgams. I'm hoping to show off another mechanic with this. You can probably guess which one. If you've played the game before, though, if you have, I don't know why you're watching this. Any hoodle. So when you first have your tavern phase, you get 3 gold. Each subsequent tavern phase, you get an additional gold. So it's just like in Hearthstone, where every turn you kind of get an additional mana, so to speak. In this case, it's gold instead of mana, to a maximum of 10. One mechanic I haven't, or there's actually 2 mechanics in the tavern I haven't dealt with yet, and this is actually a perfect time to discuss them, which is rerolling. You can always pay a gold to refresh the tavern and get a new set of minions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll try to get another one of these Nightmare Amalgams, because if you get 3 of the same minion, something good happens. Am I going to get lucky enough to find one? We'll see. Perhaps not. If not, that's fine. I'm just showing off mechanics here. I'm not super... Oh, there's the one. Okay. So if you get 3 of the same minion, they group up and turn into a gold version with all their stats combined. And when you play one, you also discover a card of the next higher tier. So I'm going to get a tier 3 card. Oh, God. Okay, I have to be kind of quick here. That was probably not the right choice, but you get to discover a minion of the tier that's 1 tier higher than your current tavern tier. So I'm at tavern tier 2. Therefore, when I played this gold Nightmare Amalgam, I got a tier 3 discover. And unfortunately, I was running out of time, so I couldn't look at the choices carefully. But if you're playing and have more time, then you can take a look at the options and pick the one that best fits your strategy at that moment. Or if it's all garbage, you can always just sell it. So there's definitely an incentive to trying to get 3 of a kind, because those bonus cards, even if you don't care necessarily about the minion itself, the bonus card is important because it gives you a discovery from the next tier up. Now, I'll talk about costs in a moment, but for now, notice this tavern tier actually keeps decreasing. It keeps getting cheaper and cheaper to upgrade. Every round that you don't upgrade your tavern, the cost to upgrade the tavern decreases by 1. So let's go ahead and get up to tier 3, and then refresh, see if we can find anything good, and talk about the next mechanic that I want to talk about. Okay, this isn't super great, but let's do it here. Freeze. If you pay 0 to freeze, you keep the minions that are there, and so the next time you come back to the tavern, it's going to be these minions instead of a new group. And this is an important mechanic because you can deliberately not freeze, and then you'll get a fresh squadron of minions to choose from the next time through. Okay, so this person is probably going to kill me. A lot of stats. There's definitely RNG in this game in terms of the minions that you roll and the attacks that your minions make, the attacks your opponent's minions make. So you go left to right, and if you get to the end, you wrap around at the beginning. But because the targeting is random, they can make a very big difference to things. So there's a few other things I want to talk about here. These group minions actually don't do a good job talking about what I want to talk about, but we'll try to get another triplet. Your taunt minions have 2 attacks, so we're just going to go ahead and put these in the back and give our taunt guy a couple of buffs. And let's re-roll, see if we can get something that can help me. Oh, hey, look at that. Well, so I could sell 2 things and buy this right now, but instead we'll just freeze it, lock it in. And let's talk now about the tavern. So the cost to upgrade taverns does not follow any mathematical progression that I was able to notice. From 1 to 2 it costs 5 gold, from 2 to 3 it costs 7, then 8, then 9, then 11 to reach the highest level, which is 6. Not exactly sure. I mean, I'm sure somebody somewhere thought about what the numbers ought to be and figured out that that was good, but it's again 5, 7, 8, 9, 11 to upgrade the tavern. Upgrading the tavern is important for damage. So in the next combat round, we'll talk about how damage works. Let's go ahead and get another triplet. So this is going to be an 8-10. And we'll give taunt minions 4 attacks. So basically, everything is kind of doubled when you combine 3 into 1. And we're going to now get a tavern tier 4. I could have actually maybe upgraded this and then gotten a tier 5 discovery. That might have been smart. Okay. Let's go ahead. So there's one thing that I would really like to showcase that for some reason I just cannot get to appear. Let's look for a battle cry. Can we get a battle cry here? These are mechs. They work with my mech hero power, but can we get a battle cry, please? Okay, this is stupid, but let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to get this guy. Battle cries are permanent. So this battle cry is give a friendly Murloc +1/+1. I'm going to go ahead and give my Amalgam a +1/+1. That is a permanent boost. So now this thing is going to keep the +1/+1 forever. This is in contrast to buffs that happen during combat. So for example, if you have like a death rattle, like my taunt guy is a death rattle who gives +1/+1 to a random friendly minion. Well, that +1/+1 resets when you hit the next tavern phase. So it's a little bit tricky because in-game buffs are temporary, whereas in tavern buffs are permanent. And so that makes Battlecry minions kind of valuable. As the game progresses, the stats of most Battlecry minions are pretty garbage and aren't really worth much, but you may want to buy them anyway just to get the permanent buffs on your minions. Okay, let's go ahead and upgrade to tier 4, and I promise in this next combat phase we'll talk about damage, because that's an important component I haven't talked about yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and so for example, Defender of Argus, let's do this. And let's see, let's go ahead and rearrange things so that my thing that spawns taunts gets taunt, and my big guy gets taunts, and then I'm just gonna sell him to get a coin. And this allows me now to refresh more, or I could go for Houndmasters on my Amalgam. I don't know, we'll freeze. I'm not gonna refresh, we'll just go ahead and freeze these 2 Houndmasters. So damage. Every minion, as we talked about, has a star rating. And at the end of combat, if you're the person who wins, then the damage you deal to your opponent is equal to your tavern rating. So in this case, 4 would be my baseline, plus the star rating of each minion that survives on the board. Tokens that are spawned generally have a star rating of 1, but if you spawn an actual minion, like for example from a piloted shredder, if you spawn a random thing, then the star rating of that actual card is what deals damage if that card ends up surviving. So hopefully I'll be quick enough on the take to explain where the number comes from when this guy probably kills me. Yes, so he has a tavern baseline of 4, and this is a 3-star minion, so he's going to deal 7 damage to me because he had the 3-star minion survive and his tavern baseline is 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a couple of these Houndmasters. I'm hoping to get a triple. And let's refresh. Okay. So every summon a beast, give it 3 attack. Beast, Dragon, and Murloc. Well, let's see. I have a Murloc, although this is not an endgame Murloc by any means. Dragon. Yeah, so pretty much is just this, which is probably not worth doing, so we're going to leave that alone. I guess I'll mention, I don't have any of this, but there are some end-of-turn effects. End-of-turn effects happen at the end of the tavern phase. It's a little bit counterintuitive to me personally. So that's what you should think of when it says end-of-turn. I'm going to go ahead and freeze this. This is a really strong effect. Poisonous is good for killing huge things, and this is a Murloc because it has all types. So we'll give him a buff, sell my crappiest minion, give him another buff. And I don't necessarily want this thing to attack. Well, I want it to attack, that's fine. But let's go ahead and put some of my crappy stuff up first so that this guy doesn't go out of its way attacking and just kind of soaks up hit, but doesn't necessarily whack into something big by itself and die. Plus, I want these little things to die so that this thing actually has room to spawn its mechs. Yeah, there's one mech. It's very fast-paced, and it definitely helps to have played Hearthstone before, because if you have, then you know what a lot of the minions do. A lot of the minions have the same exact effects that they do in regular Hearthstone. They just, you know, the mechanics basically just apply differently in this game than in Hearthstone. Like, battle cries are permanent things, and death rattles are not permanent, and stuff like that. But you at least have, like, a bit of a heads up knowing what the cards do on site. Okay, so what the hell was I gonna... Oh, yes, I was gonna go ahead and get this guy. The idea being I want to give Poisonous to my Amalgam so that if my opponent has a really huge minion, it's possible to get just like ridiculously gigantic things in this game. I can at least have a chance of killing them. Okay, we got our third Houndmaster, which is nice. We're going to take him. Sucks up the other 2. Stats get doubled. He gives a +4/+4 and taunt to my Amalgam if I want it. Let me go ahead and re-roll, see if I get maybe something better that I would want to buff. Any other beasts that could potentially matter? Beast, Dragon, and Murloc. Yeah, I don't think I want that. Anything here? Magnetic and Divine Shield. I could put a Divine Shield on this. Okay, we'll freeze that. We'll go ahead and do it to this since I didn't get anything else to do it on. We'll put you up relatively early because you do 8 damage. Let's get it tier 5. Interesting. I think this is too small. And I don't have that many beasts. So these are all pretty crappy, I think. Let's sell off that. Give them poisonous. Do that. And we'll try that. This is probably not going to kill anything. I should have probably put this in near the end to give it a chance to maybe kill something small. Not sure. Okay, my guy one-shotted his guy, which is good. Because I'm going to get an extra one of these things. So yeah, this guy, notice, it has 3 stars, so it is actually going to, if it had survived, it would have dealt 3 damage to me, even though it came out of a piloted shredder. Okay, poisonous has not been relevant yet. This person didn't have anything super gigantic, so kind of worked out alright. Is this going to be a... No, it's not going to be a tie. I think my opponent wins because he's going to have these 2 spiders that pop out of this wolf. Yo, I have 3 health. Wow, came down to 1 health. That's pretty cool. Okay, my opponent's down to 1 health. You don't get anything for killing people or for damaging people. So you don't want to get too obsessed with that. I think it's important just to try to, you know, be able to keep up and not lose. Killing people is not necessarily that valuable. I am going to go ahead and upgrade to tier 6. It's a bit greedy, but I'm getting a pretty good buy here. I can get this thing, which has magnetic, so I can put it on my amalgam. So now he's taunts, poisonous, and divine shield, the dream. Don't think I'm going to want any of these, so we're going to just refresh. And take a look. I didn't get any 6s or anything, so we're going to just not freeze that. Let's see. We'll put you at the end to give you a chance, maybe. This guy, I kind of want him to live, so maybe I could put him at the end, but it shouldn't matter too much. You're just going to whack for 8, that's fine. Maybe have you go up a little earlier so you die? Yeah, let's try it like this. So the dream is that my opponent has some really huge minion up front who whacks into my poisonous divine shield. My guy lives, and with poison kills his minion. We'll see if the dream actually happens, ever. Okay, that was a hero power, by the way. It popped off my divine shield, it would seem. I think I'm gonna lose this, unless I get very lucky, and this 32-32 ends up hitting my... is it gonna happen? Oh my god, it's gonna be close. It's not a matter of who chooses to attack. Oh, he chose to attack the 2 health guy, so I'm gonna lose this. Had he chosen to attack his 32-32, I might have been able to win that. I'm not sure. So I take 6, because this is a 1-star minion that's been buffed a lot. This is a permanent buff. And this is actually, that is a gold one, because it's normally when you play a minion, and when you play a demon, get +2/+2, but that one's getting +4/+4. Okay, these are all crappy things, so... Oh wait, I'm not on tier 6, I'm on tier 5, right? Well, I still want to try to get some tier 5s. I don't want to upgrade to 6. I do want to try to improve my board here. See if we can get anything good. Okay, at the end of your turn, this one is good to get early because it applies at the end of the tavern phase. And it would give this bonus and this a bonus. Nothing else has a type. I'm not sure it's good enough, but I'll take it. Just for illustration. So the longer that you can have this sitting around, the more valuable it gets. Okay. Beast, Dragon, and Murloc. Still no... Can we get some 5s up here? Aha, that's a pretty decent one. Getting some hyenas. I don't have that much beast synergy, so maybe I'll pass and see if I can get something else. This is interesting. I'm gonna hang on to this because it makes your buffs work twice as well. And so yeah, we're good here. We'll just let this sit. I don't want to freeze anything. This is if you're going for mechs. Notice though that this +2/+2 is not permanent because that happens during combat. So at the beginning of each combat, the junk bot resets to its 1/5 status. Okay, we got 2 gigantic poisonous dudes. This is going to be tricky, but if one of them bumps into this guy before the divine shield pops, then I could be in good shape. Can you please not attack my divine shield, Mr. Murloc? Oh, he got my divine shield! Ah, so see, that's bad luck, because now when this guy gets attacked, he doesn't have the divine shield anymore, and he's going to die along with the other guy, who also dies, but I would have been, of course, a lot better if he had not died. Now, in this case, the main concern is that I die. Because my opponent got a lot of minions left over. Luckily, this is a pretty low tier, and this is a low tier, so I'm going to get hit pretty hard. but I managed to hang on for one more round. In this mode, generally, if you can make it to the top 4, that's like good. You kind of won, you did well. If you are one of the first, if you're in the bottom 4, that's like a bad thing, and you know you did badly. Well, I don't think I can afford to upgrade to 6. I might not make it to the next round if I do this now. This is cute, but I think a little bit late. This is Taunt and Demon Synergy. Okay, let's see if we can find something better. Another one of those guys. Taunt minions of +2 attack. Interesting. Well, I think at this point the 2 attack is not significant, and I'm not likely to get 3 of them, so we're going to just leave that there. Good old demons +1. Well, with Bran, this would give my amalgam +2, but I don't think that's quite worth it. This would actually give this +2/+2 as well with Bran. It still seems a little bit on the weak side. Card with Battle Cry. Max +2 attack. Okay. We'll do it. So I think this is just junk. And this I'll hang on for one round, but this guy is pretty much junk. So we're going to go ahead and play Bran. We'll take this. Play it to give my 2 max +4/+4. And I'll re-roll before making any more decisions. Taunt, that's not the magnetic one though. This is the taunt, have 2 attack. Okay, so nothing good there. Another one, max +2/+2. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. This thing is, it's 4 attack. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this enforcer. Possibly a mistake. I could have sold that off just to play this for the battle cry. But I'm gonna gamble that maybe someday in the future I can get a 3rd one of those if I make it to the next round. So there's a bunch of us who are just barely hanging on for dear life here. Let's see if I get paired. Oh, I'm paired against. You can see who you're paired against, by the way, in advance. You don't see what's on their board, but you do see like which opponent you are playing. Okay, my opponent has a pretty big board. I am not good enough at this game yet to tell like at a glance whether I'm gonna win or lose, or whether I like have a chance of winning or losing. I'm really not sure. So my guy is about to trade. Oh, whoa, well, that guy died, right? Because this guy was already attacked. Interesting. So the question is whether this Divine Shield attacks into my huge dude. No, I'm going to lose because regardless, my guys are out of hit points and my opponent still has a couple of minions left. In fact, I am dead at this point because my opponent has enough star rating on his leftover minions to kill me. And that is, I think, just about all the mechanics of Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe if you did. And we will do some more videos. I'll try to do, I mean, depending on if my baby is willing to nap, I'll try to do 1 video a day. One thing, if you're curious, by the way, some editorial comments. I really like this game mode for a few reasons. One, it's very fast-paced. A game takes usually less than 30 minutes, unless it really drags out and you're like winning it. It might go beyond 30 minutes, but that's really unlikely. Compare that to Arena, which is still a mode I like, but you know, compared to Arena where it's like a couple hours if you're doing well to get through it. So that's something I appreciate a lot because, you know, 30 minutes I can do while my baby is napping. 2 hours, yeah, probably not so much. The other thing I like is that you have the same 7 people that you're playing against. I like that a lot because while I do think that Blizzard made the right call making Arena asynchronous, so to speak, where you kind of draft the deck by yourself and you can pop in and out anytime, so you can break it up into stages. I do kind of miss like how with Magic drafts, in Magic the Gathering, you're there with a pool of 8 players total, and you draft cards from the same pool, and you play against the people who are in that pool and drafted the cards from the same pool. Like, I definitely miss that sense of, I don't know what the right word is, unity, or that you're like in a capsule with a certain group of people as opposed to just like playing with random people from everywhere who like got their own random pool of cards. So this game gives you that feeling, but without the, you know, 3 to 4 hour play time that and massive expense that a Magic draft incurs. So it kind of scratches some itches for me that I've been needing scratched for a while, and I think I'll be playing this game for quite a while. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.